All right, now we'll jump straight to the point. Regulation number 6 1. Eligibility requirements for an initial public offer. An issuer shall be eligible to make an IPO only if A. The issuer has net tangible assets of at least 3 crores on the restated and consolidated basis in each of the preceding 3 full years of 12 months each, of which not more than 50% is held in the monetary assets. However, if more than 50% of the net tangible assets are held in the monetary assets, the issuer has utilized or made firm commitments to utilize such excess monetary assets in its business or project. This limit of 50% shall not apply in case of IPO is made entirely through an offer for sale. B. The issuer has an average operating profit of at least 15 crores calculated on the restated and consolidated basis during the 3 preceding years, with the operating profit in each of the 3 preceding years. C. The issuer has a net worth of at least 1 crore in each of the preceding 3 full years calculated on the restated and consolidated basis. D. In case the issuer has changed its name within one last year, at least 50% of the revenue calculated on the restated and consolidated basis for the preceding one full year has been earned by it from the activity indicated by the new name. Okay, now there are general conditions. An issuer making an initial public offer, that is an IPO, shall ensure that A. It has made an application to one or more stock exchanges to seek an in principle approval for the listing of its specified securities on such a stock exchange and has chosen one of them as a designated stock exchange. B. It has entered into the agreement with the depository for dematerialization of the specified securities already issued and proposed to be issued. C. All its specified securities held by the promoters are in dematerialized form prior to the filing of the offer document. D. Any of its existing partly paid up equity shares have either been fully paid up or have been forfeited. E. All its outstanding convertible securities have been converted into equity shares. F. It has made firm arrangements of the finances through verifiable means towards 75% of the stated means of the finance for a specific project proposed to be funded from the issue proceeds, excluding the amount to be raised through the proposed public issue or through the existing identifiable internal accruals. Now, another point is the amount for general corporate purposes as mentioned in the objects of the issues in the draft of a document, and the offer document shall not exceed 25% of the amount being raised by the issuer. Okay. Now, additional conditions for the offer for sale. Regulation number 8. Applicability. The shares must be fully paid up, shall be held by the sellers for a period of at least 1 year prior to the filing of the draft offer document. The holding period of such convertible securities, including the depository receipts as well as that of the resultant equity shares together, shall be considered for a purpose of calculation of 1 year period. Further, such a holding period of 1 year shall be required to be complied with at the time of filing of the draft of a document. This is in case the equity shares received on conversion or exchange of fully paid up compulsorily convertible securities, including depository receipts, are being offered for sale. And after that, if the equity shares arising out of the conversion or exchange of the fully paid up compulsorily convertible securities are being offered for the sale, the conversion or the exchange should be completed prior to the filing of the offer document, that is red herring prospectus in case of the book built issue and the prospectus in case of the fixed price issue. Okay, red herring prospectus in case of a book built issue and prospectus in case of the fixed price issue, provided full disclosures of the terms of the conversions or the exchange are made in the draft of the document. Alright, now appointment of the lead managers, other intermediary and compliance officer. Regulation number 23 and 121. This is for IPO and 121 is for FPO. Okay. Now the issuer shall appoint one or more of the merchant bankers which are registered with the SEBI as a lead managers to the issue, where the issue is managed by more than one lead manager. The rights, obligations and responsibilities relating interrelate to the disclosures, allotment, refund and underwriting obligations, if any, each lead manager shall be predetermined and be disclosed in the draft of a document and the offer document. At least one lead manager to the issue shall not be an associate as defined under the SEBI Merchant Bankers Regulations 1992 of the issuer. If any of the lead managers is an associate of the issuer, it shall disclose itself as an associate of the issuer and its role shall be limited to the marketing of the issue. The issuer shall, in consultation with the lead managers, appoint other intermediaries which are registered with the SEBI, and have independently assessed the capability of other intermediaries to carry out their obligations. The issuer shall enter into the agreement with the lead managers and enter into the agreements with other intermediaries as required under the respective regulations applicable to the intermediary concerned. Such agreements may include such other clauses as the issuer and intermediaries may deem fit without diminishing or limiting in any way the liabilities and the obligations of the lead managers and other intermediaries and the issuer under the Act, the Companies Act 2013, the Companies Act 1956 to the extent applicable, the Securities Contracts Regulation Act 1956, the Depositories Act 1996, and the rules and regulations made thereunder or the statutory modification or the statutory enactment thereof. In case of ASBA process, the issuer shall take cognizance of the deemed agreement of the issuer with the self-certified syndicate banks. Another point, the issuer shall, in case of an issue made through the book building process, appoint syndicate members, and in the case of any other issue, appoint bankers to the issue at centers. Okay, and the issuer, in case of an issue made through the book building process, appoint syndicate members, and in the case of the other issue, appoint bankers to the issue at the centers. The issuer shall appoint a registrar to the issue registered with the SEBI, which has connectivity with all the depositories. Okay, with all the depositories. If the issuer itself is a registrar, it shall not appoint itself as a registrar to the issue. The lead manager shall not act as a registrar to the issue in which it is also handling the post-issue responsibilities. Now the post-issue responsibilities, okay, the issuer shall appoint a compliance officer who shall be responsible for monitoring the compliances of the securities laws and for the redressal of investors' grievances. Another important point is disclosures in and filing of the offer documents. Disclosures in the draft offer document and offer documents, regulation number 24 and 122. Okay, now the draft offer document and the offer document shall contain all the material disclosures which are true and adequate to enable the participants to take an informed investment decisions. The red herring prospectus, shelf prospectus, and the prospectus shall contain the disclosures specified in the Companies Act 2013 and the disclosures specified in the Part A of the Schedule number 6 of the ICDR Regulations 2018. In case of the FPO, the disclosures are subject to the provisions of Part C and D thereof. The lead managers shall exercise due diligence and satisfy themselves about all the aspects of the issue, including the veracity and the adequacy of the disclosures made in the draft of a document and the offer document. The lead managers shall call upon the issuer, its promoters and its directors, or in the case of an offer for the sale, the selling shareholders, to fulfill their obligations as disclosed by them in the draft offer document and the offer document as required in the terms of ICDR Regulations 2018. Now the lead managers shall ensure that the information contained in the offer document and the particulars as per the audited financial statements in the offer document are not more than 6 months old from the issue opening date. Okay, this is another important point, is a filing of offer document, regulation number 25 and 123. The issuer shall also file the draft offer document with the stock exchanges I have shown you, where the specified securities are proposed to be listed, and submit to the stock exchanges the permanent account number, the bank account number, and the passport number of its promoters, where they are individuals, and the permanent account number, the bank account number, company registration number or equivalent, and the address of the ROC with which the promoter is registered, where the ROC promoter is a body corporate. Prior to making of an IPO and an FPO, the issuer shall file 3 copies of the draft offer document with the concerned regional office of the SEBI under the jurisdiction of which the registered office of the issuer company is located, along with the fees as specified through the lead managers. The lead managers shall submit the following to the SEBI, that is the board, along with the draft offer document: the certificate confirming that the agreement has been entered into between the issuer and the lead managers, a due diligence certificate in case of an issue of the convertible debt instruments, due diligence certificate from the debenture trustee. SEBI may specify changes or issue observations. Okay, SEBI may specify changes or issue observations on the draft offer document filed within a period of 30 days from the date of the following days: the date of the receipt of the draft offer document filed with the SEBI, the date of the receipt of the satisfactory reply from the lead merchant bankers where SEBI has sought any clarification or additional information from them, or the date of the receipt of the clarification or information from any regulator or agency where the SEBI has sought any clarification or information from such a regulator or agency. D. The date of the receipt of the copy of the in principle approval issued by the recognized stock exchanges. Now another point is, if the SEBI specifies any changes or issues observations on the draft offer document filed with it, the issuer and the lead merchant banker shall carry out such changes and comply with the observations issued by the SEBI before registering the prospectus, the red herring prospectus or the shelf prospectus, as the case may be, with the ROC, that is the registrar of the companies, or an appropriate authority as applicable. Another point, if there are any changes in the draft offer document in relation to the matter specified in these regulations, an updated offer document or a fresh draft offer document, as the case may be, shall be filed with the SEBI. Copy of the offer document shall also be filed with the SEBI and the stock exchanges to the lead managers promptly after registering the offer document with the ROC. The draft offer document and the offer document shall also be furnished to the SEBI in the soft copy. As I have shown you in the previous videos, this point is also very important. See, the draft offer document and the offer document to be available to the public, regulation number 26, and for the FPO is regulation number 124. Okay. Now, the draft offer document filed with the SEBI shall also be made available public may be made public for comments, if any, for a period of at least 21 days from the date of the filing by hosting on the website of the SEBI. Stock exchanges was specified securities are proposed to be listed and the lead managers associated with the issue. The issue shall, within 2 days of the filing of the draft of a document with the SEBI, make a public announcement in one English daily national newspaper with a wide circulation, one Hindi national daily newspaper with a wide circulation, one regional language newspaper with a wide circulation at the place where the registered office of the issuer is situated, disclosing the fact that the filing of the draft of a document with the SEBI and inviting the public to provide their comments to SEBI. Now, the issuer or the lead managers in the respect of the disclosures made in the draft of a document. Okay. Now, the lead managers shall, after the expiry of the period stipulated above, file with the SEBI the details of the comments received by them or the issuer from the public on the draft of a document during that period and consequential changes, if any, that are required to be made in the draft of a document. The issuer and the lead managers shall ensure that the offer documents are hosted on the websites as required under these regulations and its contents are same as the versions as filed with the registrar of the companies, the SEBI and the stock exchanges as applicable. Now, the lead managers and the stock exchanges shall provide copies of the offer document to the public and as and when requested, okay, and may charge a reasonable sum for providing the copy of the same. Okay, this is the last point of the session, that is ASBA, regulation number 35 and 132 of FPO. Actually, this is of IPO and FPO. Okay, now the issuer shall accept bids using only the ASBA facility in the manner specified by the SEBI. ASBA stands for application supported by the blocked amount, which means an application for subscribing to the public issue or the right issue along with the authorization to the self-certified syndicate banks to block the application money in the bank account. Under ASBA process, instead of moving the application money from the bank account of the applicant in an IPO to the escrow account, same is blocked in applicant's own bank account, and if he receives shares in the IPO, same is released to the issuer company. UPI stands for Unified Payments Interface. As everybody knows, it is an instant payment system on the mobile platform. It offers inter-bank transfers between the two persons' bank accounts, sending or receiving money in the real time among the banks in India. The National Payments Corporation of India, the NPCI, developed the UPI and is regulated by the RBI. SEBI view. Okay, now this was the last point, and another points we will discuss in another video. Thank you very much for watching. Be smart, everybody. Be smart.